It's wonderful to meet you. I'm Mike Manalo from the Nerds of Color. How are you?
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm good, thank you. A bit tired. We filming last week, Legend of the White Dragon, and then did some press and everything yesterday. A lot. That's good. I'm really, really happy. I'm just like, I need someone else to sleep for me.
It's got to be such an exciting time for you, honestly.
It's really exciting. I'm so blessed, and I can't complain. I can't complain. I just need because I'm dieting as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing a photo shoot, all these photo shoots for magazines and stuff. So I'm dieting. So I'm like, it affects the sleep, and I have no energy for the gym. So, but I'm blessed, and I'm really, really excited and really, really happy. I just want more food and sleep.
I definitely can relate to that, but at least for lack of food and sleep, you look amazing, whereas I look very sleep and food deprived. No, actually, too much food from my end.
I'm gonna say your background really enhances you. It really suits.
I appreciate that. It makes me feel like part of the squad, if that helps.
There you go. There you go.
It's a lifelong dream for me. So I wanted to start by saying, one, there's a lot of excitement going on about the movie today. I think I'm hearing some rumors about a trailer. I won't say anything or speak to that, but I'm looking forward to it if there's any truth in that, So, I think everybody's getting ready to meet Mongal, which is who you're playing, and such an iconic role. Actually, in the comics, Mongol and Mongal were just these iconic roles and staples to DC lore. Did you read any of those comics or watch any of the animated interpretations of them before you took the role to prepare for it?
Well, I mean, at first the audition that I did, I spoke to Peter, one of the producers, and he actually told me I was one of the first to be cast, like 5 months before it even came out, and they were. I didn't even know who I was reading for. It just said creature. And she has to be strong, muscular, very intimidating. I was called in for those roles, and would I be okay with prosthetics? And for Scorpion King and whatever, I used to always have prosthetics and Lady Bloodfight, one eye, and their metal teeth, and so I'm fine with all that. And I went in, but I thought I balled it up. I thought I didn't do well, and it's so weird. Sometimes you think you rock it, and then like, yes, got that, smashed it. You don't hear anything, just tumbleweeds. And then other times you go in and go, did I just do that? And that was one of those moments. I heard like within 5 days, you've been offered this role, and the name Mongal was in there. So straight away I went into, and I recognized her because I recognize her. My brothers used to read the comics and stuff, and I was more into martial arts and things. But I used to flick through and look at all the strong women, because even when I was 11, I've always been a bit of a dumpling. I always had like my I've always been a foodie, and always bigger and like strong. But I had a 6-pack when I was like 10. Wow. I always had muscle. I remember like ripping up pictures whenever I had a bikini on in Tenerife and growing up. I'd rip up a picture if I had a 6-pack, or I've always had big traps, and I've never ever trained for them. And I used to whip them up when I was a kid. I used to think, no, like why am I so muscular and all of this? But then the comics helped me to appreciate strong women and the looks, and that's what eventually got me into training and the martial arts. Was I can't be Vogue Finn, which is every magazine that's up, but I can be the best me and the strongest me and powerful. So I just went for that, so that's what the comics helped out was doing that. I forgot your original question. I'm so sorry. I went on a tangent.
that was lovely. Honestly, I've been reading comics my whole life. I wish it had that effect on me. Instead, I've got like a 3-pack. I've got like a giant gut, and then like 2.
You haven't got a giant. I'm sure you're fine, but your job. You're a brain. I'm not. I'm the brawn. So I have to do all this no sleep, the diet, and the training. It's how I earn my rent. It's how I earn my green card. I know what my forte is. Like, ask my publicist. She's always going, it's there. I'm like, where's this? Where's that? I'm so disorganized. I'm so bad. And they're always just kind of like helping me catch up, because this is your forte and my forte is like whatever.
It
So,
seems like you're rocking the best of both worlds to me, both the brains and the brawn.
hey,
So,
I get paid to fight men with swords.
which is
Bring it up.
awesome.
It's like it's my dream job. It's like fantastic. Yeah.
I think one of the best things about a movie like The Suicide Squad and even movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, things that James Gunn really takes the helm of is these misfit characters end up becoming the main attraction, and it's because of their foibles and their flaws that they become the stars. And I think when you said you went into this audition and you felt like you didn't really perform as well, I think that made it made you perfect for the role, because that's what these characters are. They're very human. They're very flawed characters.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Probably if I aced it and I was perfect, I probably wouldn't have got it. The fact I was like, I just said something and I went, oh my God. Like I was like, oh. I just left a bad taste in my mouth. That may have helped me,
I think that's what James looks for, honestly, in a lot of his characters. And on that same note, what was it like working with him? Was he, as a director and as a star, what did it feel like?
It's a dream to be on a James Gunn set. He plays music. He has a microphone. He I mean, he knows what he wants. He has a vision, and he's very specific, and he can already see the characters in the film in his head. But sometimes he'll just say, "Hey, try this and try that," and it's all over a microphone, and you have to sit there and like be in character and not burst out laughing what's in front of you or what you're doing. It's hysterical. It's a lot of fun, and the atmosphere is great. Like I didn't want to leave the set when I wrapped. I was just like, do I have to go home? I want to stay in this forever. It's like, apart from the chewing gum skin, apart from that, I was sticking. If I walk past the door, I would stick to it. But in that Atlanta heat. But yeah, he's really inspiring. His mind is just, I mean, he's a genius and a genius and a genius. It just goes in and in. He knows like every character and where they're from, what they're doing. It's crazy. Yeah.
It seems like it. That's one of my favorite things about most of his movies, is that they're character driven more than anything. He gives these characters a lot of souls, and
he's always the underdog, and the underdog does well, and the underdog, comes out on top at the end, which is great. They think like they're like amazing, but actually they're a bit of a a dork or a tree or whatever, and in the end they smash everything. They rule it. So it's great.
A lot of what I love about it too is he lets a lot of the actors come out in their roles. Who they are as actors really influences what they bring to the performance. And on that note, did he give you an opportunity to really like improvise or do anything and inject yourself into the role? Anything like that?
I can't really. I mean, and obviously I can't say too much.
Sure.
I've been NDA'd up to my eyeballs, so like I'm not saying anything. All I can say is I discuss certain things with him, but as I said, James he has the film and the characters and the story all in his brain. Mm-hmm. So he's open to ideas and stuff, but he also knows more than anyone this universe and all the universes that he creates. So it's that, and that's all I can say.
Fair enough. I think that makes a lot of sense.
I think we all know how James Gunn works now. We've seen a lot of behind the scenes and stuff, and he's open, but he also knows the universe better than anyone. So you can't really tell him anything, because he's the genius. He's the brains behind it. So
of course.
Yeah.
I think, to me, this is I believe your second DC movie that you worked on. You're front and center in this one as Mongal, but you also worked pretty heavily in in Wonder Woman, I believe, which is really cool, and it speaks a lot about you as a person and as a DC fan, which I think is neat. Did getting to touch these projects? You mentioned that you read comics a little bit when you were a kid. Are you currently going back to reading comics now because of Wonder Woman and because of Suicide Squad?
I'm more of to be honest, I'm more watching more of the films of the comic book genre and stuff. I have like the first Mongal edition when Mongal appears with Mongal. That's up on my inspiration wall in my office. You know, I have her picture. I don't know if you can see it. Like I have Mongal
Oh,
here,
nice.
nude board
Yeah,
there
yeah.
because yeah, there's certain things going on, and she's there, and I have all the DC stuff and the fandom. So I'm a bit of a I am a bit like of a collector and a nerd and stuff, but not more the comics because I don't really have time. It's hard enough to do my emails, to be honest. I haven't read a book in years. I used to always read books, and then since the iPhone came out, it's like everyone just got super busy. I don't know how everyone fits it in, but I also fit in a lot of training and martial arts and all of that into my day. So it's not a lot of downtime, to be honest. I don't really do a lot of downtime. If I do, it's probably on a rehab table or someone's like smashing me. I'm like rehabbing something. That's the only time I stop. And even then, I try not to have the phone, but usually I'm on the phone catching up with emails. So yeah, that's the truth.
They take a lot of commitment every month. There's a new issue, you know.
It does, but you know, if I said this before to someone, and it's a true story. If I had $1 billion right now, I would still be going to Gold's Gym because that's like that's the best gym in the world, and it makes me feel good. The gym, and I would still be bike riding, getting my bike and going along the PCH along the beach in LA, looking at the palm trees and taking in the sunsets. Like there's nothing different apart from I have a lot of dogs because I have a big house with a garden to take all the dogs. That would, the only difference would be that. So it's the dedication that I and so the work is worth all the time where I don't have downtime to look at comics. Yeah. One day I will. One day I will.
At least you got a really cool collection of DC stuff all over. I think that's pretty
Well,
awesome.
that's only in this vision. I mean, I have a lot of stuff, and I wear a lot of DC and memorabilia stuff all the time, especially in the gym. I usually get a man's t-shirt and I cut it up and have a funky little gym, a little t-shirt with a comic book on it.
Well, you're probably the coolest person at the gym because of that. I'm just
no, not these days. A lot of fitness models and you know, a lot of put together outfits and glam. I'm the scruffy one in the DC comic, and it's in the DC comic, a cap and a kid's t-shirt and like a pair of shorts. As my brothers always said, with growing up, I always dress like a 7-year-old boy. So I have a fashion sense of a 7-year-old. Like now, I'm in like denim shorts and like and a pair of like Converse kicks. It's like
it's okay. Yeah. I'm rocking a Suicide Squad shirt and looking.
Hey, well, you know what? I don't even have one of them. That's not even right. Where did you get that from?
When DC Fandom hit, they actually put up a bunch of these shirts, and I had to just jump on it immediately because I was so impressed by everything that I saw.
Oh wow, I didn't even see that. I'm gonna have to get onto my rep to get me some of that.
We'll chase down James and make sure that you get one. James,
yeah, wow.
Like, where's Mayling's shirt? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I even like. Do you want to see something really, really dorky that I did? This is so bad, but like, this is how you got me on the roll here now. This is how dorky I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a pair of old trainers, and I drew on the Suicide Squad, and I drew on Mongal. That was quarantine. That's how quarantine affected me. I was like, I need to be inspired right now, so I painted them on. There's an old pair of kicks, just so I keep me inspired in quarantine.
It looks awesome, though. I can't believe you painted.
That's not the end. Wait, and then I had a little geisha doll.
Yeah.
Geisha doll. And I Mongalda.
Oh my God. I want them to sell this so badly.
This is the things that I did in quarantine because I was like, seriously, you have to stay in your house all the time. So I was just there. And this is before I got the bike where I could at least run away like on the beach. And like, you know, we weren't allowed to be on the beach, but I was like, it's too fast for anyone to stop me. But like, this was me like being stuck in the house. And this is the thing that I did because I didn't get, there was no stuff out then. So I just made my own.
I love it. I want one so badly now. It is adorable. Do you do commissions? We'll talk after.
Yeah, exactly. We can make our own brand coming up. DC Comics won't be too happy that I'm making the Mongal, but never mind. We'll talk it out.
They should partner with you because they'd sell millions of those. They're so cute. I mean, I love that.
You know what? Exactly. That's what we need. Let's get that. That's gonna be my my thumbnail.
Heck yeah. We're gonna totally use that. We're gonna promote the heck out of that. I mean, come on.
That's so funny.
If I could switch gears from Suicide a little bit to White Dragon, Legend of the White Dragon. It's exciting to hear about this because I've been a Power Rangers fan since I was a kid, and I wanted to ask if you grew up with that and who your
I
favorite.
love Power Rangers. I mean, I was so stoked. And when they contacted me for this, they were, and I looked up who they wanted me to go against Jason, the Green Ranger. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. It's pretty tough. I looked him up in real life, and he's got 8 black belts in different styles, and it's the real deal. And we had some intense fight scenes. I mean, the first day I met him, we were smashing elbows and knees, and it's intense. We're doing like Muay Baran, like really hard. It's more real. It's more a real intense fight scenes with this one. So I was really stoked to work with the Green Ranger, and he's my favorite Ranger.
Here's mine too.
So yeah, I loved all that stuff. I was just never that kind of athlete.
Yeah.
Like if you wanna, I've said this before as well in auditions and stuff. Like if they're looking for a martial artist, if they want a girl who's like a Power Ranger and can like, flip over a wall, that's not me. But if you want a girl who smashes through a wall, that's me. I'm the Rhino. This don't jump. This don't spin and kick. This doesn't like get up. And I'm not agile. I'm not like that kind of girl. But if you want me to pick the wall up or smash through it, you gotta. And that's Mongal as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about Patty Jenkins with Wonder Woman was she actually picked a runner before I even got on set. So everyone was already training for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And they just needed a few more Amazons. And this guy reached out to me on Facebook, and he actually said, "Do you look like your pictures?" And I was like, "Yeah." But I was actually in Tenerife with my brothers who owned like 12 restaurants and beautiful restaurants on the Tenerife. Great cuisine over there. And one of them was an Italian. So we had like a spread of like, it was the best pepperoni pizzas there and pastas. And I'm like actually chowing down on a pizza. And I get a Facebook message saying, "Hey, do you look like your picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But I wasn't. I was like, triple shuffling. And he was like, "Will you be ready to be in London on Monday?" And it was Tuesday. And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, come to Leavesden, come to Warner Brothers on Monday. We can see that you can do the swords from Lady Blood fight. We need a girl like you who looks like you." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I was in Tenerife. I had to fly to LA to pack my bags and put my stuff away and get to London while dieting and training, and get to London on the Monday at 9 a.m. And I did it. But that's the thing as well, is that before I even got there, Patty Jenkins saw my photo in that week, and she just made a new adjustment in the script, and she made that scene for Arana, and she was like, "What girls do we have?" And they were like, "We have these girls, and we have this girl's coming." And she was like, "Who's that?" And she wanted someone who was diverse, different, like a multicultural, but also strong, rhino-esque, or like looks like they will charge up a cliff. Like she didn't want a young girl who's going to take charge. She wanted someone who's more experienced, in charge of the troop, and and like fly off the cliff. And she chose me just from me being strong. I'm really strong, not just like enhanced or whatever. So
it was my favorite thing actually about the Wonder Woman movies were just Themyscira and this idea that you had these elite warriors, that were all women and that were all phenomenal, and there was a diverse set, and they could literally just throw down with anyone and kick anyone's ass.
Absolutely. And even better, not even just throw down with anyone, smash them to bits. Yeah. But I think that they should do a movie just on the island.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yes, it's whenever it plays, it's never enough.
Yeah,
I think it's the best part. Yeah, it's amazing watching all the women together, and yeah.
On the same theme of diversity, because we are the Nerds of Color, one of our big goals really is to shed light on the underrepresented in Hollywood. And I think as much as I love Hollywood, as much as I love the movie industry, I think that there's always been challenges in terms of who we depict as the quintessential action stars. And on a lot of notes, folks like us who are of Asian descent, we aren't always put at the forefront of that. So I really wanted to ask you, as a rising star in Hollywood of Asian descent and an action one as well, what do you think Hollywood has to do to get better at diversifying its definitions of what the typical action star should be?
I think it's lesson, to be honest. What is it? Ghost in a Shell, and then there was what was the Ace Airbender?
Yeah.
They learned the lesson with Ghost in the Shell, Airbender, and like even Iron Fist. I think Hollywood's learned its lesson where, you know, if it's an Asian main lead, then don't change it, and especially if the background of the story is they're coming from a martial arts background back in the East. Mm-hmm. Why would you change that? And I think they've learned that, you know, now we have the Mortal Kombat with a lead Asian actor, and then we have Chang-Chi coming out. And so I think I think now is definitely on the change as well. You're going to see a lot more of Asian representation just because of what's happened in the last few years, and finally it's all coming out and it's all getting covered, and it's not okay anymore. People are not standing for it. But also I've been in that situation on both sides because I'm not Asian. I've never played an Asian role because I'm not Asian enough. And my name is, and then they call me in because my name is Asian, you know. Thank God my father gave me Mayling Ng, but all my brothers have English names or West names. But on that side, I'm not Asian enough for that. And all the superheroes I've played have never been Asian descent. So Mongal, she's an alien. One at the Amazons, there was an Asian. So I think it's learning. I think it's not going to go back to the way it was. Nothing can be whitewashed anymore. Yeah. People are not going to stand for it. The audience won't take it. The audience won't support that movie, that project, if it's not portrayed in the right way, I think. You know,
the thing is, though, with Mongal, even though she's an alien, the sheer fact that they have you know, someone of Asian descent as part of the squad, in my opinion, it's a huge win for us, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm saying, that it's a good thing, even though I've not played an Asian, the fact that they cast me as strong as another female who's not Asian, because we are seen as smaller, weaker, you know. And to be honest, in Hollywood now, I'm getting seen, like, I'm reading for men's roles. The Scorpion King was a man's role. Fast and Furious 9, I was held for like 2 months, 6 weeks on a man's role. They had me unavailable. It was against me and another guy for this man's role. They're going to switch it, you know. So they see me as a strong force in Hollywood finally. And I'm Asian. I'm not like Mongolian. I'm Singaporean. My father's like 5'4". You know, I'm 5'7", 5'8". But I'm really lucky that even though Mongal is an alien, they chose me, and it's because I was right for Mongal, you know, as well. So yeah, it's I think right now it's if it's open to whoever's right in the role, you know. It's not just about leading white actress and the most beautiful actress anymore, the one that just makes the money. It's like, who fits the roles more? It's getting diverse. I can see it. I mean, I see it from my auditions from when I came here 5 years ago to now. What I read for it's just flipped. I came at the right time, and I should have done, you know, people told me to come to LA 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and I was like, oh no, I can't make it in LA. I couldn't have made it in LA because I was too scary and too big. And then finally I moved here 5 years ago, and I've been very, very lucky. I just came at the right time, and, you know, powerful and strong, and being mixed is an asset.
It definitely is. And I think one of the best things about it is there are a lot of women and girls that are going to go see the Suicide Squad of Asian descent or of mixed descent, and they're going to see you up there on screen. So what does it feel like to you, knowing that Asian fans like myself, like those girls, will be able to see themselves represented?
I mean, it's everything. It's everything, because that's the whole reason I never came to Hollywood 20 years ago, because I didn't see anyone like me 20 years ago. And the fact that I'm not just even though I am Asian, I'm not just you know, I'm very broad and big for Asian, and it's acceptable. It's so no matter if the girls are insecure about their weight, or, you know, they're not, like, they don't think they're beautiful, or I was very insecure as a kid, Like I didn't wear a skirt and heels until I was 28 years old. Like I never put myself out there to be looked at until I was 28 because I was just insecure that I wasn't thin enough, pretty enough, white enough, Asian enough, this. So for me to now be representation to some girls that, you know what, just be the best you and just like, and have confidence and believe in yourself. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I can't wait to go back to Singapore and see all my family and my nieces and cousins and stuff, and just like, you know, sit down and as we do in Singapore and sit there on the 14th course of a buffet, a seafood buffet in some fancy hotel and eating all the oysters and stuff. That's what we do when we go out. I can't wait to go there and just see my family and see all the kids as well, and just how it's all changed in the 5 years since I left. You know,
it's gonna be an amazing time for you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I just wish I could fly there now. I mean, I came to LA with 2 suitcases 6 years ago, and I still have all my stuff in Singapore. Like this is all just what I've accumulated over the last 5 years. Yeah. But I need to get my belongings from Asia. Like, yeah, so I can't wait to go back. It's still a second home for me. I kind of keep things there because my father still has a place there, and you know, I like to go back. It's just because of COVID, I haven't been back for over, I think maybe it's 2 years now. And that's a lot. It's a long time for me.
Definitely impacted a lot of us, but the good news is by the time you get back there, this movie will be in Suicide Squad will have been in theaters and will have blown up and become.
And they're the greatest fans as well. When you go to Asia, I mean, they're intense. They like something. Yeah. They like something. They really show their appreciation, and they get full on in. So I mean, even when I went back just the last time, I had a few appearances and fans. I had so much press just from being the Singaporean Amazon.
Yeah.
They really appreciated that, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I had some fans like make some costumes for me and send me stuff, and like, this is from Singapore. A fan gave me a Wonder Woman flask, nice. You know. So like, yeah, I told you.
They love you. I mean, that's what I mean. They're seeing a Singaporean on the screen in these huge movies, and it just means the world to them.
Only the start. I'm going to keep taking these really strong, powerful roles.
Yeah.
Representing Asians and females, and yeah, and I think the door's just opening for us all. It doesn't matter anymore about, because as I said, I wasn't white enough, I wasn't Asian enough, and now the fact that most of my auditions now are multi-ethnic, like diverse, like whatever. It's just open. It's just open. So it's great.
It's nice to hear that. On that same note, you know, with these big roles, are there any fandoms, because you're now in the Power Rangers universe, you're now part of the DC universe, are there any other fandoms that you want to join the cast of, whether it's the MCU or Star Wars? You mentioned Fast and Furious that you were...
I mean, I was pretty gutted that because it was filming the same time as Suicide, and I was just in my head, I'm like, oh, imagine if I'm on Suicide Squad and I'm doing Fast and Furious and I'm like crossing over and like having to like, you know, negotiate dates. That would be like so exciting. But anyway, that would be always great to do that, but I heard they're going to do a female one. They really liked what I did, and they're like, hey, if we're doing a female one. So that would always be something that I hope happens. But Star Wars, a Mandalorian, and oh my god! I mean, just even that music gives me chills. Just when he puts the helmet on, he walks out, I'm just like, you got me. You had me at helmet. Like that music. I'd love to be a ranger or just be in Star Wars. Just
I could see
do my flowers with some lightsabers and stuff, and do my, put some like kung fu moves in there. It'd be so cool.
I could see you fitting in with the Mandalorian so well. You've got Ming-Na Wen in the cast. You've got
amazing. Follow her on Instagram. Yes.
You got some powerful women in that cast, and you
love to be part of that.
Fit in. Yeah.
I'd love to be a part of that. It would be fantastic. But someone needs to speak to Jon Favreau. Let him know.
That's next time, if we ever interview Favreau, I'm like Mayling Ng. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Good. You do that, and I'll give you a geisha doll.
Yes, I would love that. Such a good trade right there.
There you go. There you go.
But more than that, I get to see you in The Mandalorian, and it would be pitch perfect for you. So I don't know. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I always wanted to do Game of Thrones as well when it was out, just because I have this kind of Game of Thrones, Jon Snow kind of accent naturally, and then at the sword fighting. And I've always, you know, I did that's the costume from the Scorpion King. When I came off the horse, they kindly gave me the costume. And I've always been cast as like a warrior or a Viking. So when Game of Thrones come out, I was like, hello. But like, no, nothing. Hi, nothing, just tumbleweeds. But so now my new fixture is definitely the Star Wars. That's the new TV show that everyone's hooked on, right? I mean, as soon as the second season came out, I just binge watched it in like a day and a half or something. It's crazy. It's
a fantastic show. Again, you'd be perfect in that universe, though. I'd love to see that, honestly.
We'll make it happen then.
If I could ask one final question, hopefully I definitely don't want to take up too much more of your time, but you've got Mongal and you've got Wonder Woman under your belt. If you had any other opportunities to play any other either Suicide Squad or DC universe character, you know, in this universe, who would you want to play?
DC character. I mean, everyone always asked me to do. A lot of people say Starlight because they thought the costume was Starlight when it first got packed. But maybe Lady Shiva.
Man, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, just because like, you see my weapons behind the punch bag there. I have all my Guandals and my swords and stuff. Like, they're the real ones. The fake ones, the proper ones are in my car because in case I get stopped.
Yeah.
I would love to do an actual martial arts and represent that.
You would look perfect. They've never done the character before, and you know, DC has a tendency to double use actors. Like Jaimin Hunsu was in both Aquaman and Shazam. With you as Mongal, you've got the prosthetics on, and Lady Shiva would be a completely different look, but you'd be perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But the good thing about being unrecognizable in the Suicide Squad is that the door still remains open. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. You know, you just gotta wish and just put it out there in the universe, and that's what I've been doing. And look at me, I ended up in a James Gunn movie. So
and a Power Rangers movie too.
And a Power Rangers movie. I'm working with, you know, Bat in the Sun was a great production. It's one of the best experiences I've had. It is a big unit. It's a big family. Everyone's so positive. Like the first day I went in and we did do an intense fight scene, and one of the hits connected and I went down like a sack of spuds. And they all thought I was going to like time out. I was going to walk, and like the medics came, and I was just like, I was just winded. I thought it broke, but it was just winded. I took the wind out of me, and I was just on the floor. And they were like, "Are you leaving?" And I was like, "No, I'm not going to leave." I was like, "This is a unit. Like you guys, this was a mistake. You know, this was just an error. But you guys rock. Like you're all close. You're all tight. There's no levels, or there's no politics here. Everyone loves the director. The director gets down and dirty with everyone. You know, Aaron, he's great. So it was just a great unit. And I was like, even though I was on the floor and I was seeing stars and I couldn't breathe, I was like, give me 2 minutes and I'll be back up. 2 minutes. And I was like, and just don't hurt me. And just don't hurt me now, because I'm doing a lot of press for Suicide. I gotta look my best. So like, you know, nothing broken, please. And they were like, you got it. And like, I did it because, well, one, I would never walk off anyway, but two, it's just a privilege to be on that set because the energy is so great. And anything that does happen to you is just a really bad, like, it's just a mistake, an accident. And, you know, as soon as we did that, they were like, okay, let's clean this up. Let's do this. And it's great, you know. I'll do anything for those guys. And if they ask me back again, I'll be there. I'll be there. Even if I'm like getting an Oscar one day, darling, I will still work for Aaron and Bat in the Sun. Because it's a great production.
Well, I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to see the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Well, it's close. I mean, it's been a long time. I'm still like, oh, it was 2 years ago. So I'm still trying to remember. People are like, what was your best moment? And I'm like, it was like 2 years ago. It's that big of a production that it sets out in 2 years' time. And You know, it's a big thing. So it's exciting. I've seen a screening of it, and you're gonna be entertained.
And it's got, you know, I think it's one of those movies that you have to see on the big screen too. You
Well,
know,
you have to. I mean, I was lucky. I watched it on a private screen and a big screen, but
yeah.
I couldn't watch it any other way.
Yeah.
It's just really. I mean, I forgot to breathe because I was just like at one point, and then I was like, and then I got a bit slightly dizzy, and I was like, breathe. I was like holding my breath for ages. Like it just builds, and it's incredible. The way the pacing of it is perfect. Like he's done such a good job, but even just the way it flows, it's fantastic. I'm really like, I was excited to be in the movie, but now I've seen the movie, I'm like, I'm in that movie. It's like, yeah.
Damn right you're in that movie, and
Right.
it's going to rock. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited for it. Mayling, thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I love the background again. It made my day. It made my day. It's so funny. I should do that. Why didn't I think of that? Yeah.
Thank you so much, and have a great one. And
you.
Yeah. And Suicide Squad, August 6th, HBO Max and theaters. See it in theaters.
You can only watch this film in theaters. It's sacrilegious not to, and I'll come and find you. If you watch it at home, I'm going to drag you out with a headlock and walk you to the cinema. I'm not even going to drag. I'm going to just walk you slowly, like while you're in a headlock, and take you to the cinema. You can't do it. Like it's crazy. It's one of the best films, and it's most anticipated film of this year. It's massive. It's a massive film. Like you cannot watch it.
I'll help you drag those people out and to the cinemas and kick them along the way with you.
Okay, good. You're my partner in crime.
Yes, indeed.
You're my Robin.
I'll take it. That's the best compliment I can take.
Okay.
Thank you again. Have a great day.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.